So we're going to talk about the metric system sort of in general today. Talk a little bit about conversions within the metric system. And then we'll probably move a little bit into length in our first section of the metric system in which we're going to measure that. So as many of you said in our question of the day today, the metric system is a system of measurement when all of the units are based on a power of what? 10. Based on a power of 10, which is convenient because our Arabic numerical system that we use is also based on 10. We count to 10 and then we go to the next unit. And then we go to the next one. So that makes conversion from one unit to another very convenient in the metric system. Much easier than it is to convert, inches to feet, or to convert ounces to pounds that we do in the English system. So when we think about the metric system and the way it works, each different characteristic has what we call a base unit. Like in the metric system, what is the base unit for length? Yeah, the meter. How about the base unit for mass? Jonathan? Gram. How about volume? Jonathan? Liter. Yes. Okay? So those are what we call base units. Everything is based on that one characteristic. That's the basic unit. Then, to go to the other units of the metric system, we use prefixes. Letters that come before the base unit, then modify it and make it larger or smaller. So if we have our base unit, 10 of the base unit is called deca. We don't use that very much. Okay? Hecto, we don't really use very much. Sometimes in area. We do use kilo though. We use it on the smaller side. We don't use deci very much. We do use centa and milli. So, you need to know those. You need to know kilo, centi, and milli. Kilo means 1,000 of the base units. So, kilogram is 1,000 grams. Kilometer is 1,000 meters. Milliliter is 1,000 liters. The other side from the base, these make the units smaller when we go to the right on this system. Centa is 0.01 or 1/100th of the base unit. So a centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. It's 0.01 meters. Milli is 1,000. 0. And there are more units that go on each end of this. We generally, for our purposes, will only use down the middle. So if we think about length, like we just said, the base unit for length is meters. So how many meters in a kilometer? Based on what I've shown you? 1,000. 1,000 meters in a kilometer. This next question you got to be careful of. So how many centimeters in a meter? What's that? Yes. 100. How many millimeters in a meter? How much? 1,000. Now, because, let me take this off. Because we have the metric system based on units of 10, conversion is pretty easy. Because to convert from one unit to another, all we need to do is what? Tristan? We can divide and multiply, but even easier than that, Bianca? We can move the decimal point. And that's what we're going to be doing to convert from one unit to another. So let's look at some examples of it. If you could picture this chart here, it'll help you to understand how we move the decimal. So let's say, for example, I have 6,329.2 meters. And I want to convert that into kilometers. Okay, so meters to kilometers. If I wanted to multiply, what would I do? If I wanted to do the multiplication way, how would I do that? Sasha? Multiply by 1,000. I could do that. Or, what is the same as multiplying by 1,000? Jonathan? Moving the decimal place 3 places to the... Yes. Okay. But, to go from meters to kilometers, do I multiply by 1,000? What would I have to do? Courtney? I'd have to divide by 1,000. How do I do that? Eli? Yes. So if you imagine, I have meters. That's my base unit. I want to convert to kilometers. So I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So if I do that, 1, 2, 3 places to the left. So 6,329.2 meters equals 6.3 292 kilometers. Does that make sense? So if you imagine this chart, you could just say, okay, I need to go 3 places to the left. Okay? What if I have 5.699105 kilograms? I'm wondering how many milligrams that is. How do I do this, Joey? 3 places? So I have kilograms. So kilograms to milli. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So equals 5,699,105. 5,699,105 milligrams. So again, we're moving our decimal right or left depending on which unit we're converting for. How about to go from centa to milli? What do I do? Nicole? 1 place to the right. Milli to our base unit? Emma? 3 to the left. Centa to kilo? Morgan? 5 to the left. Okay, so that's how we convert. We just move our decimal place to the appropriate number of spots. Okay. So let's look now at a couple examples. So gram now is the unit we use for mass as the base unit in the metric system. So how many grams are in a kilogram? How many grams in a kilogram? Oh, 1,000. How many milligrams in a gram? Okay. Which one? Yeah. How many milligrams in a kilogram? Go ahead. Which one? So milligrams in a kilogram. No? No? A million. So there's 1,000 milligrams in a gram, 1,000 grams in a kilogram, so a million. 1,000 times 1,000. All right, so let's do some conversions. 1,000 milligrams equals, Autumn? 1 kilogram. Herschel? Equals 1,000 grams. 160 centimeters. Nicholas? Hello? He did come in there, yes. With a pass. Yep. Yes. 14 kilometers. How many meters? Section? Yes. 109 grams. Courtney? Going the wrong way there. So you think about it, gram is smaller than a kilogram. No? Paul? Say that again? Yes, 1 0. Grams come, go to the left 3 spots. 1, 2, 3. But there's no decimal place here, is there? Is there a decimal place? Jonathan? Yeah, it's after the 9. It's implied. We sometimes don't write it. There's nothing on the other side, but it is there. Okay, 250 meters. Olivia? Yeah, we can get rid of those trailing zeros after the end if it's a decimal. All right, now let's do this. Greater than, less than, equal to. So how do we do? What do we need to do in order to compare these quantities? What do we have to do for? Okay, we have to convert to make them the same unit, and then we can compare them. And it doesn't matter which one you convert to. You can convert to centimeters, you can convert to meters. As long as they're like units, then we can compare them. All right, so for this one, what would you fill in there? Grant? 56 centimeters is less than 60. 70 grams. 698 milligrams. Jonathan? Yes. 1,500 milligrams versus 1.5 grams. Eli? They're equal. And the last one, 536 centimeters versus 5.36 meters. Time out? They're also. So we have that? Alright. So I know I already asked you this. But I said there were 3 countries that don't use the metric system. So this is what? What country would that be? We just talked about it. Anthony? Myanmar. Over here. Herschel? Liberia. Here? Eli? Yes. All right, raise your hand and tell me what country this is then. Jonathan? Yes, that is the US. So yes, that's the last one. Good job. Your social studies teacher is the new job. And then Liberia is actually not here in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It is actually on the western coast of Africa. I know. And this is actually not the U.S. Mr. Arcurian must have been doing this geography lesson. What is this actually pointing to? Mexico. Yes. All right. So, metric system, we don't use it. Yes. I don't know if they use the same, if they use an English system, or if they use their own sort of Now, metric system is used throughout the world, obviously. Like we just saw, it's easy to convert from one unit to another, so that's a benefit as well. The English system that we use, I mean, for us, if you've grown up with the English system, the customary system, it makes sense to us. Somebody says 25 pounds, you have an idea about what that means. If you say the person is 6 feet tall, you know inherently what that is, because we're used to that. We grew up with that system, so we understand those. Okay, somebody says it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit, we know what kind of weather that is. For most of us, though, if people are using metric measurements, we're like, okay, I don't know what is Celsius and how much is that? So we're not quite as used to it. But the English system is based on what? So the metric system is based on powers of 10. What is the English system based on? No. No. Good question. It has no consistent base at all. It's based on traditional units that were established sometimes hundreds of years ago, based on sort of arbitrary measurements that made the base unit, and then where they came up with the other equivalents, I have no idea. But just to give you an idea about what some of these are. So units of length in the English system, digit is a unit of length. It's about 3/4 of an inch. A furlong was originally meant to be the distance a plow team can be driven without rest. A league was thought to be about 3 miles. It was supposed to be based on about an hour's walk. So again, these are based on sort of arbitrary measurements that we no longer really relate to. The metric system-based units, like meters, kilograms, okay, liters, actually have a physical example. I believe this is Switzerland, where the standard units are kept. There is a metal bar that represents this is exactly what 1 meter is. It's the standard. If we get into volume now, talk about confusing. So the units of volume in the English system, 2 mouthfuls is called a jigger. A jack is equivalent to 2 jiggers. A jill is equal to 2 jacks. A cup is 2 jills. A pint is 2 cups. A quart is 2 pints. A paddle, ever heard of that one? I've never seen paddle in the recipe, but a paddle is 2 quarts. A gallon is 2 paddles. A peck is 2 gallons. A penny, 2 pecks. A bushel, 2 pennies. A cask, 2 bushels. A barrel, 2 casks. And a hogshead is an actual unit of measurement. It is 2 barrels as a hogshead. So, none of those names seem to make any sense to me. They seem somewhat arbitrary, but they are what they are. Alright. So now we're going to start to get into one area of measurement. And this will start with length and area. So when we are measuring the length of the sides of various objects, if it's a 3-dimensional object, if it's a rectangular solid, or you guys call this something else now? Rectangular prism? Is that what you guys call it? I call it rectangular solid. Okay. has three separate dimensions. Generally we'll call the longest side of the object the length, but if we tip this on its side, it doesn't really matter, as long as we're measuring the three different dimensions. So length, width, and then height over here. So if it's a three-dimensional rectangular prism, we measure the three dimensions. If it's a circle, we can measure its diameter or its radius. What is diameter? Well, you're thinking of something else. You're thinking of, yes, diameter is a different dimension of the circle. The
distance across?
Yeah, the distance across from here to here?
No, from the point in the center to both sides. Like, from the biggest point in the, like, it goes across the biggest point.
We're going to use a slightly different definition. You're on the right track. It's the length of a circle going through the midpoint. Whereas radius is half of that. It goes from the midpoint to the edge. So that's the diameter. This is the radius. We're going to finish up with this slide here. So when we are measuring length, we have a few different units that we'll use. Generally in length, we will be using millimeters, centimeters, meters, and kilometers. Each of those have an abbreviation that we use. What's the abbreviation for millimeters? So, yeah, not M, two lowercase m. How big is a millimeter? Can be related to some physical object that I may be familiar with? Cool. It's thicker than a piece of paper. Yeah, about the point of your pencil, if you have like a regular pencil, the tip, the point, the sharpened point is probably about a millimeter. Pretty small. About a centimeter. What's a centimeter? Abbreviation for a centimeter? Yeah, CM. How big is a centimeter? Okay. Yeah, it's close to that. If you think about your pencil again, I would say 2 pencil widths. That's actually really good. Very close. Put 2 pencils on there. 2 pencils side by side, about a centimeter. A meter, what's the unit of a meter, the abbreviation for it? Kristen? Just M, because that's the base unit. How big is that? Huh? Approximately? What am I holding in my hand? No. Yes. This is a meter stick, not a yardstick. How would this compare to a yardstick? You what? No. Okay. Is it more or less? That's what I'm more quoting. Yes, exactly. This is a meter stick. And this is exactly 1 meter. When I look at the English side that has inches, that is a little more than 39 inches. So an actual yardstick would end about here. Okay, so a yard is slightly less than an inch is less than an inch. Okay, how about a kilometer? Abbreviation, kilometer according, km. What do you compare a kilometer to? Oh, square meter? No? Okay. So 5K, how many miles is that? 3.1. So is a mile more or less than a kilometer? Less? More. Right? Like the full boiler rate is 15 kilometers, 9.3 miles. Okay, so a kilometer smaller, it's not 0.6. 0.6 miles is a kilometer. Generally, when we measure things, if it's a small object, we'll use millimeters as a unit until it goes up to like a centimeter. After it's longer than a centimeter, we'll use centimeters until it's a full meter long. Then we'll generally use meters after that until it reaches a kilometer, and then we'll use kilometers. Last thing here, look at this bottom, please. So we are going to have to measure the length of various objects. It may sound simple, but a couple things you have to keep in mind. First, you want to be using the correct side of the ruler. We will do all measurements in metric system. So you're never going to use inches. So obviously this is the metric side. And different rulers say different things. This one says centimeters. What is that telling you? What is this a centimeter? No. What is it, Nicole? Yeah, the numbered lines are the centimeters. However, many of our rulers here, they say millimeter then. In that case, it's telling you what, Morgan? Yeah, that the smallest unit are millimeters. So if I want to measure the length of this bar here, first off, I have to make sure it's aligned with the 0 point. Notice, is 0 the end of this ruler? No, there's a gap there, so you have to look at the ruler carefully. Then you count how many whole centimeters it is. In this case, 1, 2, does it get to 3? Not quite. So where do you get the decimal? It's by how many millimeters it is. So it's 2.9 centimeters. Okay? How many millimeters is that line? How many millimeters, Herschel? 29, yes. All right. Any questions about length or the metric system? Yes, Nicole. I'm not sure. And it's not always capitalized. Some people do, some don't. You don't have to. All right. Good job. Have a good weekend, folks.